are live now. Hello,
Yes,
everyone.
we are.
Hello,
Hello.
Ingmar. How are you
Hi,
guys?
Katja, Ingmar. We're all good,
Joining from
all in different
really
parts of the world.
exactly. So, where are you, Martin, right now?
I'm in Australia, and yeah, on the other
Perth.
side, you're in Greece, I guess. Yeah, in Perth, yes. Same as
Perth.
Ingmar.
Same as me.
I'm in Greece
I'm
today.
joining in.
And Damardeep, where are you?
I'm joining in from Beirut, Lebanon. Although
Amazing.
originally I'm from India.
And
Yes.
next week we're gonna be in China, actually, in Guangzhou, correct? Yeah, amazing. Well, I mean, it's an international platform. The people who are watching right now, actually, hopefully why you're here. We are connecting the West and the East together, looking for innovation and many, many, many things that we're going to talk today. So I think we should start. The only thing that we would like to mention for the people who are watching live is that you can ask any questions you have either on YouTube or on LinkedIn. And we're going to make sure in the end of this, the Q&A session, to answer any questions that you might have. If we don't answer, and if you are watching the recording, you can still ask the questions, and our team is going to be here for you to answer anything. So I think we are going to start with bringing the presentation, and we are going to disappear and leave Martin Klaasen to do the introduction for what Lux Futurum is all about. Yeah? So we are
Perfect.
leaving.
All right.
And
That's
we have 5 minutes.
yes. So Katja, you're in control. So when we change the slides, please do so. I will do my part. Welcome, everybody. I will kick off this session with an introduction about what Lux Futurum is, how we came to do that, and so forth. So maybe it's good if we get cracking to the next slide. We will be having a final event in Shanghai. So the idea of this session is specifically also to make sure that everybody is aware of what Lux Futurum is. A lot of people may be a bit apprehensive about this or wait till the last minute, but I can tell you it's better to submit as soon as you can, so that we have time to assess all the submissions and make sure that we make a good selection of the winners. So Lux Futurum is actually a catchy name for light of the future. We call it affectionately LUFU, which as it happens also means a very similar light of the future in Chinese. So it was a name that we really liked, and it has really caught on, and we most of the time talk about LUFU. It's a global platform in which we try to celebrate visionary thinkers, people that innovate and are bold creators in the lighting design industry. We feel that is something that is really needed, sometimes overlooked. And that's why we're trying through this program to recognize people that put in a lot of effort into this. Our mission, therefore, is to spotlight emerging talent, highlight disruptive ideas, and some people may have brilliant provocations that may shape the future that we will see in the future, and the way we might see, feel, or experience lighting. So it's not really an awards program. I think we like to call it a movement, and I think that's what LUFU aims to be, a movement. Next slide, please. So, right, there we are. It's a bit of delay, I think, your time differences. We're living through a period, I think, of profound transformation. I think we all know that. We have climate change, there's digital disruption, we have the post-pandemic adjustments that we made. We're still a lot of people working from home or having remote work functions. There's a lot of things going on in the world, which finds its way also into lighting. And specifically in terms of lighting design, we can see that it's now really moving beyond aesthetics, not just only nice lighting design. It's a lot about the latest technologies, about well-being, diversity, dark skies, the identity and interaction, specifically now with the digital world, which we all call AI. I think we're all now being confronted with it. And I think in the coming years, it's going to make a big part of our lighting design world. And later on, Faraz will tell a little bit more about AI from his perspective. LUFU highlights the role of lighting in specifically reshaping the human experience. I think that's what we aim for. And we aim for it to empower those who challenge what the current status quo is. And therefore, we really call upon everybody to send in their disruptive ideas or things that may help to reshape how we experience life as human beings. Next. So what are the core values and the philosophy that we're trying to pursue in this Lux Futurum? First of all, innovation. I think we are looking for ideas that push things beyond what we know at the moment. But we also want it to be about storytelling, because I think we all know lighting designers is not just about technology, it's also about the narrative. What kind of story are we telling with light? So it's a medium to express our emotions, to create memories and meaning for the spaces that we design with light. But it's also about responsibility. Light that respects the planet and its people, and in the widest sense of the word. We are talking about dark skies, we are talking about circular economy. A lot of things come into play when we talk about responsibility. So we feel that LUFU can be the space for this cross-pollination between design and the science, between culture and code, and between art and algorithm. I think that's an important part where we hope that ideas that are being presented will stimulate and motivate people in the future. Next. So what will make the submission stand out? So LUFU will celebrate the audacious designs that ask, what if? What if I did this? What if I did that? I think that's core to our mission also, to really push the boundaries and ask yourself that question. What if we did this? How would it help us? How would it create a new and better world for us in terms of lighting? So the drivers for these submissions typically will be how to envision a better future, be visually compelling, and also specifically conceptually quite deep and profound in terms of what the meaning is. We wanted to challenge convention, spark dialogue, and inspire change. I think these are obvious points that we expect from innovative and groundbreaking ideas. And with that, we want to reward originality, clarity, and the impact that it will have on our world, and specifically the world of lighting design. Next. So this is my last slide, and I would like to really invite you to join what we call the movement. This is your moment where you can go beyond the brief, beyond the expected, and share with the community what your vision is for the future. Because by submitting, you'll become part of the global future, which will be shaping the dialogue also for the future. We want this discussion to start between our community members. What is it that we can expect for the future? And early entries will get obviously more exposure, because once we have your entry, we would like to promote that. Considering that it complies with the selection criteria, we will promote that through our social media and channels that we have. And Katja will probably talk more about that later on. So we invite the curious, we invite the courageous people, and specifically the visionary people. Please join us, submit your revolutionary ideas, let there be a future, and let there be LUFU. Thank you, and over to Armadeep, who's going to talk a bit about the various categories that we have.
Thank you so much, Martin, for setting the stage for such a great movement that we've created. And continuing with what Martin has just spoken about, Katya can go to the next slide. So when we were talking about what should this recognition program, we refrain from calling this an awards program. I think it's a recognition program for something which somebody has done. The intention was to open out this to the broader design world, which is related to lighting. So this recognition program, after reviewing a lot of other awards program, if we may use this phrase, we realized that some programs only cater to lighting designers, some programs cater to just manufacturers. So we want this to be a global movement that caters to everybody related to lighting. And hence, the categories within this recognition program should be attractive to anybody who's either in the lighting industry or in something which is related to the lighting industry. So we have three broad categories, which is concepts, products, and projects. And one by one, in the next couple of slides, we'll explain what each of these categories are and some a little bit more detail. So, concepts, as the name suggests, is all or any unrealized ideas. So, you could have a great idea. It doesn't necessarily have to be something which is realized, it could still be in its conceptual stage. And this idea can be a idea of a design product, a design project. It could be an idea for a research. Now, if you see this, one of some of the images that we've searched on the internet for futuristic ideas, this image on the left that you see here, it's a daylight facade that is being built out of a lot of recycled materials, recycled bottles. It's not a realized project, but this is something which really got our attention. This is something amazing which is related to lighting, something that is related to sustainability, and it's become a conceptual idea which has the potential of becoming a realized product. And some of these projects here that you see, that's the electric bulb, which is by Braun. And this is also not a realized product, it's just a conceptual idea of an extremely long lasting electric bulb, which draws its inspiration from the incandescent lamp. But the filament that it uses is something which is of an out of the world alloy, which has the longest lifespan ever known to mankind. So these are some concepts that we would really like to encourage. And if you have something interesting, it could be a research project too, where this image that you see is an underwater city that is being created with a lot of light. So such concepts which are not yet realized is something which we would encourage. Okay, moving on to the next category, which is the products category. So products are some things which are already realized or in their prototype stage. So this interesting product that you see, it's called the light switch. And what we found interesting in this is that just on the flick of a press, the card opens up and becomes a light bulb. So this is something which is interesting. Even this goggles here, that's a AR VR goggle which can really replicate a lighting design scene. So when you're starting to create digital twins, a lighting designer just needs to wear these goggles on, and no matter where the lighting designer is, could be based in London, and he or she could do the uh, final focusing and fine tuning of the lighting project based in Africa using these AR VR goggles. And that's also something related to lighting, and that's a futuristic product, which is something we would encourage any product designer or a manufacturer to come forward and submit as an entry for this global recognition program. And finally, which is the projects category, any exceptional project which is realized. And again, it could be a designed project, it could be a lighting design project, it could be an architectural project, it could also be a completed research project. And these are things we would really encourage within the projects category. Now, this is the space station building, which is in China. And the whole concept, it was realized or conceptualized as a futuristic space station, and now currently which has been built, and it looks super futuristic. And that's something which is really interesting about this project. And it'll be great if there are designers who have completed such projects to submit it. And it doesn't really have to be a large scale project, because if you see the image above, this pod here, it's a pod within a youth hostel in Japan. And this is a self-sustaining pod which has its own light fixtures. And this is also something which is really futuristic as an entry, which we saw in another recognition program. And that's something which we would really like people to encourage and submit to this entry or a global recognition program for Lux Futurum. So this kind of puts the whole type of categories together. And moving on to the next slide, where we'd like to talk about who can submit. As mentioned earlier, it could be designers, and within designers, it could be architects, interior designers, lighting designers, product designers, interaction designers, experience designers, anybody who has this futuristic concept project or a product can submit. It could be educators, it could be inventors. So not necessarily from the lighting field, but if you sponsored a research project and taken into an invention, that could be submitted. And obviously, manufacturers, if you come up with something really revolutionary as a product, please feel free to submit this as an entry. Researchers, and yes, a major chunk of this we would really like to encourage students, because in the end, we're creating a movement, and it's the next generation that are going to take this movement forward. So we really encourage students to have any ideas or a conceptual idea which you think has a potential to be realized, to submit this as an entry. And the entry procedure itself is fairly simple. And in the next slide, you will see a video where you can see, you can go through the website, click on a certain links. Katya, just let play the video. So you go, submit, click on submit. It'll open up. You'll see all the judging criteria. Scroll down. You'll see there are certain specific criteria that you need to look at. There are certain key criteria that you need to look at. Understand what it is. Get your entry in. Fill out the form and submit. Ta-da! It's as simple as that. So we are really looking forward to your entries. And I turn this over to the next presenter. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Amardeep. I guess now it's my turn, so I'm going to be trying to go through the slides, but also present. It was a great explanation of what kind of projects and products and concepts we are looking for. So thank you very much. We're going to see a couple of more things very soon. So as Martin mentioned in the very beginning, early submissions means early exposure. Of course, the submissions, they will need to comply with our rules and structure. So before anything is being promoted or shared online, it will need to go through our team, but also the judges that we have. And we are very, very grateful to have two of the judges today here to give some sort of presentations to inspire you all. But then, of course, please stay tuned on social media, where you are actually getting to know more about each of our judges of this program. So as we mentioned here, the plan is that obviously the deadline for this award is the 31st of August. So yeah, you do have time still. However, the earlier you do it, the better, because you will have the opportunity to be featured on the website of Lux Futurum, but also in the virtual lighting design community platform, which I'm sure you know already, but the Lux Futurum is a collaboration between the virtual lighting design community and the Zhurong team from China. So going to the next slide, I would like to share that if you are selected as finalist, what happens next? And here we see a video from last year, the first forum that took place in Guangzhou. And this year, what we can actually tell you is that the forum is going to take place in Shanghai. This is news. It's early news because we just started talking about all the logistics and all the details, which is very, very exciting. But basically, if you are selected as a finalist, you will be notified by the 20th of September, around those days. So at least a month before the forum, and you will be invited to join us in Shanghai. All of your expenses are covered from the team to come and present and participate on the celebrations, on the different activities, the awards, like the moment that you're coming on stage and you're getting your award. And generally, it's really a fun experience. And you can find what happened last year on our social media, which I encourage you to go and check it out. And with that, generally, as previously Amardeep and Martin shared already, we are here really to push forward, to inspire people, to go about the future of our profession. And so our pure intention is to promote and further communicate all of those amazing projects globally. So what we are doing, either in person or online interviews, we are spotlighting the project. We do project features on social media. We curate content, and we try to promote and present your projects in the best possible way for the global community. And so, again, on the social media right now, you can go there and you can find very interesting interviews with past winners and past judges, but also kind of see the projects that got awarded and selected from last year. And as a LUFU winner and past judge, so we have a panel of judges, which we are delighted to have all of those representatives from different places around the world. And you can find all the details about our judges on the website. There is a very analytical place where you can read their biography and find all the details about their expertise. So here you can see some moments from, again, last year, the Lux Futurum Forum 2024, where Bianca, here in the center, I don't know if you can see my mouse, a past judge, was awarding the Lazur lighting with the Glioglio submission. But also here you can see San Fei, one of the winners of last year, who is sharing his testimonial about his experience with Lux Futurum and LUFU as a LUFU winner. And we call all of them LUFU futurists, who are helping us to expand the reach and raise awareness about this platform. And I think with that, I'm gonna close with this last slide from my side, talking about the communications. And hopefully you are already excited by knowing that we have two amazing keynote speakers already ready to come to Shanghai to present. Dan Rosengarde from Studio Rosengarde. I'm sure that you are very, very much aware of their fantastic innovations and projects in the urban space, but generally like all the different activities that they do, very futuristic, very forward-thinking and innovative. And also we have Satoshi Ohashi from Zaha Hadid Architects, which obviously I'm sure you all appreciate and getting inspired by their innovative designs and work that they do globally. So we are delighted to welcome both of them as keynote speakers in the 30th of October 2025. So in a couple of months, but we are already can't wait for this. And I think with that, I will leave and bring on stage Ingmar. So Ingmar, hello.
Thank you, Katja.
And let me know when you want me to go to the next slide, okay?
Yes, sure, no worries. So thank you, Katja, for setting that up for me. That was a really great explanation. Katja already alluded to the virtual lighting design community. And as part of the creative team behind Lux Futurum, I'm excited to also introduce the Virtual Lighting Design Community podcast, which has really become a cornerstone of the virtual lighting design community itself, and its mission to really connect, to educate, and inspire lighting design professionals and enthusiasts all over the world. And so while Lux Futurum celebrates the future of lighting design, VLDC is really dedicated to building that global network of shared knowledge and passion the Virtual Lighting Design Community podcast, it's a platform where, in keeping with all the videos that we've posted and all the things that are available and the resources on the platform itself, where we feature industry experts, we talk to thought leaders, innovators. They all come together and we discuss all sorts of different topics, the latest trends, technologies, challenges in the lighting design profession, interviews, conversations. All of these thought leaders help us to explore and to deep dive into to these topics a bit further. As you can see on the screen here, we've had a lot of success so far since we've started the VLD community podcast. Over 2,000 episodes downloaded and listened to, and from what I can see in the back end, all over the world, America, Australia, Asia, South America, people are tuning in, which is really great to hear. And we've got more episodes coming on a regular basis. Also, as you can see, they're available on all our major podcast apps, and it's distributed through our network globally. Maybe Katja, maybe let's go to the next slide. Yes, so that highlights a little bit of what I said before. So through the podcast, as I said before, we spotlight the incredible contributions of the lighting designers, and in collaboration with Lux Futurum itself, the successful applicants also have the opportunity, who have made major contributions to the industry, as we will highlight through the Lux Futurum event, also will have the opportunity to be featured on the podcast. Let's go to the next slide, Katja. Yes, so a lot of the things that I've already mentioned previously, we talk about all sorts of different topics. What we also feature is free access to all of these resources. So it's a really great place to be part of it. And as we look to the future with Lux Futurum at this year, 2025, we also invite you to not only just tune in, but also to learn from the best and also take part in the movement. Thank you very much. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Fantastic. Thank you very, very much, Ingmar. I think that was a great introduction from all of us, trying to give you a glimpse. And now, very, very, very excited to bring on stage Claudia Paz, one of our amazing judges, all the way from Peru. I think, Claudia, it's very early morning for you, right? Good morning.
Yes. Good morning. How are you?
Very well, very excited. So I'm going to leave now, and we will let you go through your presentation to give inspiration to our audience for what you are actually expecting to see as a judge for this year, Lux Futurum 2025. So I'm leaving, and again, if you need me to change the slide faster, you will let me know. I will just start now.
Okay, thank you. Hello, everybody. I'm really excited to be a judge in Lux Futurum because I want to explain how my process was like 15 years ago. Martin said something that is, I think, really important. No? What if? That's the questions that come around my mind all the time. I walk around the city. All the time I see a building. All the time, I think if you don't ask yourself questions, there's not going to be out there, an innovative design. Ask yourself, what if make you dream, make you break from current limitations, invites imagination. you begin to think freely. Since I begin to do talks, like 2000, probably 10, everybody asks me, how you imagine this? How you do this in your country? How you find a client to do this? And really, I'm going to tell you my secret. I don't have a client normally. First, I think about it. You know, if we see the next slide, I have like a different, probably, I don't know if you all know the BCP. Well, it's like, can you do a media facade? And one time walking around, I was thinking, what if we can see something that we never see here? What if we can see rain? What if the people can approach to the building and touch the building, and the building reacts of the touch of the people? And that's the way the BCP project began. Also in the stadium. No, in the stadium, we have to do a media facade. There was a contest, and I begin to think, what happened with the football and the people? Why all the people shout, all the people get so excited? And I begin to think, what if we can translate all this emotion inside the stadium to the outside? You know, all these questions. What if we are doing, like 2 months ago, a nightclub, and I was telling Cesar, my team Cesar is the one that I dream, and he grounded with technology and how we were going to do it. So you are going to hear a lot about Cesar all the time when I speak, because it's like I'm the one that dreaming and thinking crazy things, and he's the one that grounded. But when we begin to work together 20 years ago, I remember that he was programming, and he said, no, I don't think this can be done. And I said, never say no, because if you say no, you are going to block your mind to new ideas. No, the better way to approach this is to say, let's see what we can do. But the what if is so important. So one time for a shopping mall, I was saying, we don't have an aquarium here in Peru, in Lima. We don't have an aquarium. And I said, they want to put a fish tank. And I said, poor fishes, you know, going around in a square of 10 meters. And I said, what if you can touch, you know, the glass, and this like an interactive aquarium? Is video behind that, because I walk around a lot into the Atlanta aquarium. And okay, it's amazing to see these giant fishes, but also I feel a bit sad, you know, because they are there and not in the open sea. And I said, I remember to the client, I can put a well there, and it's going to be free because it's going to be digital. Or there here some projects, no? What if you can dance, you know, and the lights can follow you? So one time we were walking in a park, and I said, you know, here the parks are empty. If we put an interactive installation, the people will come. So the security of the park here in Lima in the night is linked to the amount of people that is in the park. If the park is empty, of course it's unsafe. But here, the mayors were thinking we need to put more light. And more light is not more security. It's only that you can see if someone is hiding. So I'm moving forward more to the approach that if we have a lot of people in the park in the night, it's going to be safe. So we designed an installation. And with this installation, we went to the mayor, and this happened. So the next question is how? Okay, I have the crazy ideas, how we do it. So if you see the image here, the first one is while I was talking, like at 4 a.m. one night trying to design something for the BCP to avoid that they put a screen, Cesar was drawing. And I was telling him, I want something that have 3 layers of LED. So I touched this, and because it's a square, it began to be organic. And also when we do the flower installation, I decide first how is giant. And we begin to do with cardboard, a flower, and go to the mall and hang in there. Or here you can see Cesar in 2010, years ago, younger Cesar, no, because I want to see the scale of the balloon, of the globe that is for DJ Light that we made with Cinemod Studio. I want to see the scale. So I said, Cesar, can you stand up between the spheres? So I need to know if this is giant spheres, or I'm there in China, drawing how I want that. So how you do it? Everything can be done. Now, since 2010, I can say everything can be done. You only need to open your mind and have the idea, because here is where multidisciplinary team came. In the installations, I think about sound, and I contact a sound designer, and I begin to tell him, I need to feel with the sound that the rain is in my face, and he create the sound. Or for example, for the programmers, all this, you can see it really complicated, but it's not complicated for them. So I have to learn to communicate with them. So each of these projects, I can say, I have the idea. Probably I have the crazy idea, but without Cesar, without Chris, without Neil, without a lot of different companies that help us to realize it, can be done. But of course, what I always try to say to all the people that hear me is, don't be afraid to have an idea. Because I wasn't afraid. I want to do something different. And not for me, because I think people needs to go out to the street, go out to the city, and you feel alive, and the buildings could be alive, or the installation make you forget about the moment. Probably you have a bad day. Happens to me. If I have a bad day, I don't know, or something, and I are in the park and see some installation, and I begin to play. If you see the pictures here, that people begin to dance and smile and think that this is magic, And this came the why that make me happy. And I always say that I'm going to keep doing this until I have 100 years, because I love this. And you have to do it passionate. I love the people, the faces of the people that get surprised when they see a whale and they think is real. I also like this little kid that see the projection of the flower, and probably I was looking at him and he was thinking, oh, where's the light come from? And then came the brother, and the brother says, oh, you're looking at the flower. And this opened their imagination. I never think that the kids are going to lay down to see the lights. I never think that the woman is going to begin to dance. But I was willing for see this. Every time we open an installation or we go around an installation, the flowers keep doing the same thing for the people that discover it. The people make stories about this, and this goes into their imagination. So the why is for this, is for what we aim for the future. I think the imagination have to flow, and you need to enjoy the ride. The smile of the people, the surprise, the wonder, and this is what I do. I think that in the future we need more things that connect with our emotions, more things that make us happy or relax, and probably we can have a balance between light in the night. I prefer to have an installation that runs for 2 hours rather than have public lighting. But of course, here we are to have, to talk about this, because all the ideas are welcome. And because of that, I want to be a judge in this in these awards, because I think there's a lot of these good ideas and concepts in your laptop. I'm sure of it, because we always thinking, we are designers, we always thinking forward, what else we can do. And please surprise me, and I'm sure you're going to surprise me, and I'm looking forward to see what is going to happen in these days. So thank you, and see you soon, see your projects. And I'm happy to be here, Katia.
Thank you very much, Claudia, for all the inspiration. I'm one of your biggest fans in terms of your projects. Almost applied to come there in the beginning of my career, almost to visit you in Peru. So thank you very, very much. And I think I will bring Ingmar on stage just to introduce the next speaker that we have here, one of our amazing judges as well. So just a reminder before we move forward, just to say that please utilize the chat to ask your questions. If you are watching live, we already see your questions and we are responding live. But if you are not, and if you're watching a recording, again, ask your questions and our team is going to make sure to reply to you as soon as we see your comment. Okay? So Ingmar, I think I'm going to just go. You need to unmute yourself. And
are we putting up the Faraz presentation? Let's have a look at that. Oh, why am I here?
Hi, I'm one of the Lux Futurum judges, and today, in this virtual informative session, I'm going to talk about innovation, AI, and the future path ahead for lighting design in Pichakcha style. So, let's dive right in. We are living in a world on the brink. We are living through a paradigm shift. Innovation is no longer a buzzword, it's a necessity. AI, automation, and creativity are colliding in unprecedented ways. Tonight, I want to explore with you that how this transformation intersects with design, light, and the human experience. As lighting designers, we've always been obsessed with how light shapes perception. But what happens when we let the machines shape perception with us? Is that even possible? And if possible, can they really enhance beauty? Can they enhance purpose? Can they add on to the sustainability? Well, let's explore. So traditionally, design used to start with a sketch. Today, it might start with a prompt. Now, AI tools like Midjourney, DALI, Runway, Kling, Suno, etc., they let us paint with possibility, collapsing ideation timelines and also reframing the aesthetics. And the prompt engineering is now considered to be a creative skill. Like lighting controls programmer, the new designer guides AI with nuances, they guide AI with intent, rhythm, and also with direction. In this new reality, artistry is not exactly lost, it's basically amplified. But let's just not romanticize it yet. AI can hallucinate and it does hallucinate. Results can be generic and even wrong. But so is the first sketch. Innovation isn't about perfection. Innovation is also about momentum and about iteration. Also, it is about risk. Now, we are no longer just designing light, we are designing data as well. With all these new adaptive lighting systems, the real time feedback, and the environmental sensing, AI can help respond to life organically and intelligently. In Dubai, we worked on a project recently, a wildlife sanctuary where lighting respects ecology. We proposed AI-enabled modeling and light pollution prediction to protect the migratory birds. Future forward lighting, it must be environmentally literate. Now imagine a landscape that adjusts its brightness with real-time pedestrian movement, or a facade that changes tone with the temperature and mood. Now, with all these AI integrated controls, the built environment has become like a responsive organism. I've been experimenting with these tools like Suno AI to generate music, Midjourney to generate images, and Kling to animate those images. These are technically not gimmicks, they are actually narrative companions. And for us designers, these offer a new sensory vocabulary. Now, in lighting as in life, every story matters. Light is not just lux and lumens, it's metaphor, it's emotion, it's drama. With all these AI tools, we now storyboard experiences, choreograph atmospheres, and visualize them instantly. On Red Sea coast, we worked on this particular dark sky development. Innovation here meant restraint, balancing luxury with the cosmos. Here, the predictive data from AI tools helped us simulate the star visibility and also helped us simulate the shadow behaviors. But with this power, there comes a question. Who owns the output? Can machines carry hidden bias? The ethics of creative AI are murky waters indeed, and as designers, we are the custodians. We need a moral compass to chart this course with ethics, awareness, and of course, with responsibility. Now, light is emotion. We all know that. AI can now map sentiments and even predict affective states. What if a hotel lobby's light shifted gently with guests' moods? We are moving beyond technical metrics into more empathetic illumination. And the future isn't just siloed. Lighting now dances with biotech, it dances with biocities and neuroaesthetics. AI acts as that connective tissue, enabling these fields to speak a common design language. It's a new kind of orchestra, really. Now, beyond being designers and Revit specialists, my team members have also taken over the roles of generative AI whisperers and data modelers alike. AI has changed the game. AI has changed how we collaborate. It's no longer just left brain meets right brain, it's human meets machine. And believe it or not, the best part at times is serendipity. Sometimes the mistakes they result in the generation of most poetic AI outputs. And it is within those fragments of an unpredictability that we get new styles, new visions, new schools of thought. It's quite thrilling. Light has always been a metaphor for truth, and in an AI driven world, perhaps now we need less clarity, but we need more curiosity. AI doesn't just eliminate, it reveals. It challenges what we thought we knew. Now, coming to the luminaires, it itself is no longer the end product. The experiences. Our job is no longer to just light up the buildings, but to shape how people feel. It's to shape how people flow and connect. That AI can help us dream. Now, despite of all this technology, design is still deeply human. Design is emotion and design is sensation. Also, design is memory. AI is just the pencil. We are still the hand. The future needs us to stay curious, aware, and needs us to stay bold. In closing, innovation is not a destination, but a torch we pass forward. AI is the new lens, not a replacement. As designers of light and space, let's use this moment to keep the light on for possibility, for progress, and for each other. Thank you very much, everyone. And please do not forget to submit your entries for the Lux Futurum. This is Faraz signing off. Goodbye.
I would love to be able to just clap, you know. That's the worst thing, you know, on the online presentations, that you're just there and you're trying to interact but you can't. So I think, Martin, would you like to share some comments following those presentations from Faraz and Claudia?
No, I loved both presentations. Both have different angles, but both also have one thing in common, and that's the human aspect. I think what's really important that whether you create technology installations or AI-driven installation, the key for me is still that we as humans remain in charge. This is the main discussion point with all AI tools that are coming forward right now. And I think also one of the things I just wanted to highlight, we love to see AI-driven submissions, but we want people to declare their AI usage, because I think it's really important also in the spectrum of knowledge sharing to understand what is AI-driven and what is not AI-driven. Because there's no doubt we move into AI. A lot of people are already using ChatGPT and Midjourney and all that stuff. But understanding where you as human control it and where the actual AI tool does its work, I think it's also part of the process that we want to explore and lay there for our participants and audience to see. So great submissions. By the way, I want to highlight an interview that I had with Faraz, where we dive even deeper into AI. It's on our Virtual Light Design Community website if you want to dive into that a bit further. But great presentations, and thanks for the motivation and inspiration.
Fantastic. Absolutely agree. Amardeep, would you like to share any comments also based on the questions that we see here on the chat? As we said again, as a reminder, if you guys are watching the recording, you are still free to submit your questions. Anything that comes to your mind based on these presentations, please share with us. We're going to reply and give you the answers on your question.
I think one question that has come a couple of times repeatedly is about the number of entries that one can submit. Please note that we are a platform to encourage amazing ideas. So there is no restrictions on the number of entries. If you have 10 ideas, 10 concepts, 10 projects, please come forward and present them, submit them as an entry. But please make sure each of these concept, product, or project meets all these stringent requirements that we have for our Lux Futurum. Note that this is not any regular award category. This is a global recognition program, particularly which is future focused. So make sure that your entry is future focused. And if you have any doubts about this, whether your entry qualifies for that, please don't hesitate to send us an email, send us whatever is there, submission material. We are happy to review it and get back to you and say whether this project meets, and if there's anything which you can tweak to make it better and make it more future focused, we are more than happy to help you. So that's what the only comment that I have to say from these comments and questions.
Amazing. Just would like to say a big thank you to everyone who joined today to also watch this online on YouTube and on LinkedIn. Again, as a reminder, we are sharing all the updates, everything that we are working on our social media platforms. On Lux Futurum, you can find us on Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn, but also, of course, the Virtual Light Design Community platform, which we really encourage every single one of you who is watching this to join as a member. If you are not aware of what the amazing things we have inside, and following what Ingmar said also about the podcast, which is very, very successful, we would like you to go and check it out. Just write vld.community and you will have everything you need there. So from my side, I think there's not much more to talk about, and we managed to keep this within the hour. So if anyone would like to share some last words, please go ahead.
No, I think we're all clear. I think the inspiration and motivation is the target of this event, to really motivate and inspire people to submit, and don't be hesitant. There's no such thing as something wrongly submitted. We are there to guide you. And bear in mind that when you get selected in the end, you'll be invited in Shanghai, and we want to hear about this project or this concept or this idea. in person by you. So you will be asked, because it's all about knowledge sharing at the same time. So it's not just a beautiful picture and an award. No, this is about knowledge sharing and how innovative ideas can reshape the future. And that's what we expect from our submission. So thank you everybody for listening. I think it will probably also be on the Lux Futurum website, this recording. So you can still look back at it in your own pace and time. So thank you everybody for listening in. And we hope to see many of you submit based on this motivating and inspiring presentation. Thank you.
I see one last question here. It came to just now. Rezvan is asking, to what emails should we send for the feedback? Amardeep, would you like to take this?
Lux Futurum has a dedicated email called visionary@luxfuturum.com. So if you go onto the Lux Futurum website, there is an email, and that's the email which we generally use for any kind of submission related queries and questions. So please feel free to write to this email. We will also send a reply in the chat box, so that is on YouTube, on LinkedIn, the same email will be there for you to access. But please feel free to go onto the website, because we have a contact us email that is there, and that's the only email that this platform operates from.
Amazing.
Okay. Bye, everyone.
Everyone, bye bye. See, we can't wait to see
Bye-bye.
your submissions. Bye.